Spooky season is here in Grand Theft Auto Online, and Rockstar have added a cool new alien UFO event, and there's some interesting things that happen to it that we'll be testing out in this video today. So let's go ahead and start with when this arrived. It was actually earlier in the day. Rockstar Games insider Tez Funds 2 put out this tweet. Rockstar have issued a new background update fixing the bug that teleported everyone to an apartment or garage entrance. In addition, preparations for one of the Halloween events, Sightseeing, have been added with this update. So talking about that first part first, yesterday we talked about how going into public sessions was dangerous because at a moment's notice, you could be teleported in front of someone's garage or apartment, like the entire lobby would. And when something like that would end up happening, you'd obviously get killed. You'd be disrupted from what you were doing. It was just not good. But thankfully now Rockstar has fixed that. So really we didn't go much longer than 24 hours with that glitch being prominent in GTA Online. Now the second part of that, Rockstar added a new Halloween event called Sightseeing in this update. And long story short, what Sightseeing is, it is a daily UFO event. It is live from today until next Thursday, and you encounter the UFO in-game between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. And since the in-game phone uses a 24-hour clock, that's when it hits 22. So from 22 to 3 a.m., that is when you are going to be able to see this UFO. And if you guys are wondering where the location is, it's going to be different for each day. So today, when I'm recording this video, is October 15th, 2021. It's going to be occurring here, which is at this little peak on Paleto Bay. Tomorrow, on Saturday, 10/16/2021, it's going to be in the ocean above Paleto Bay, above the water. There's also a sunken UFO at the same place. That's kind of interesting. On Sunday, on the 17th, it's going to be at the peak of Mount Chiliad. This is interesting because a lot of these sites are more of the creepier UFO-ish sites, so that's pretty cool. The fourth encounter is going to occur at the lighthouse. That's going to be on the 18th. On the 19th, it's going to be at the Altruist Camp radio tower. And on the 20th, it's going to be at the Alien Camp, just outside of Sandy Shores. Now, as of when I'm recording this video, it is unknown if the UFO events are going to be different every single day, other than them being at different locations, obviously. And if there's going to be something that occurs if you visit the alien or you see the aliens every single day. So now that you know the locations and the times of where this actually occurs, let's go ahead and dive into what actually happens. So when I went to the location for the first time, it actually did not show up, and I was thinking to myself, of course. The one time I do try and do something like this in-game, it doesn't actually work. I'm not going to be able to see it. If something like this does happen for you, just end up doing a little circle around the area and then come back. And then what you should see is a UFO floating a couple hundred feet above the ground, and then you're going to see this spotlight shining down or the tractor beam, and then it's going to leave a bright circle on the ground. And my first thought was, let's get as close as possible to this thing because I wanted to end up seeing, if we could actually interact with the UFO in any way, shape, or form. But upon getting close to it, what will happen is a bolt of lightning will strike in the background, and then the UFO and its tractor beam will start disappearing. And then your vehicle, if you're on a vehicle, will start to become disabled. You won't be able to use it anymore. So you've got this giant strike of lightning that happens in the background that apparently disables the vehicle and allows the UFO to escape. And so far, that is the entirety of the event. There are no long-lasting effects to your player. There's nothing that really happens to anything else in the world. That's it. Now, I wanted to try a few more experiments with this because I wasn't quite satisfied with it just doing that. I wanted to see if we could maybe replicate our results. And by the way, you can also do this in an invite-only session or a public session, so it does not matter. But it will have an impact if another player goes up to it, as we'll test in a little bit. So all I did was simply join a new session, and sure enough, the UFO was back. And so I kind of just did the little same song and dance that I did the first time, and sure enough, it ended up getting disabled again. There was that bolt of lightning that struck in the background, and then my Oppressor Mark II was immediately disabled as the UFO ended up flying away and disappeared. Now, in the next lobby that I jumped to, I wanted to try another experiment and see what would happen if you were looking at the UFO, but then in the game, it became after 3 a.m. Would it disappear? Does it have a time limit? And the answer is once it's in the game, it's in the game until someone makes it go away or you fly away. Because it is after 3 a.m. here, and you can see that the UFO is still in the game. And I was going to try another experiment here of what would happen if you showed up on foot. We know that your vehicles are disabled, but what happens if you go on foot? What will end up happening here? And as I was trying to do that, because I was in a public session, some knucklehead in a jet ended up flying too close, and he ended up getting his jet disabled over the water, and he crashed into the ocean, but it disappeared. So if you're doing this in a public session, know that there is one UFO per lobby. It's not like that was my individual UFO right there. And so when he got too close, it made it disappear for me as well. Now, I was trying to be a good Samaritan here. This guy was going to swim back to shore, and I was like, dude, just take the easy way out, or I'll take the easy way out for you. So I ended up shooting him with a sniper rifle, and he took that as an act of war. And he was not very happy and ended up trying to snipe me a bunch of times. Dude, you were like swimming to shore. Use your brain, knucklehead. So that was another experiment that we did in that lobby right there. Now, I was actually having a lot of fun with this. So a few more experiments that I wanted to end up trying was what would happen again if you approached the UFO on foot? What would actually happen to you? Turns out the answer here is really nothing. You get the same effect, like the lightning bolt will end up striking. Sorry about like the annoying alerts that I'm getting on the screen. And the UFO will disappear, but nothing will actually happen to you. It's not like you will combust or catch on fire like we know will actually happen in a handful of the other Halloween events. So basically, if you're not in a vehicle, you're safe. The EMP effect is not going to affect you. And then the only other experiment I could really think of is, could we like shoot the UFO? Could we damage the UFO? And the answer is you can shoot the UFO, but you can't really do any damage to it, nor does it really affect the UFO's status. Like, it doesn't fly off, it doesn't fly towards you, it doesn't get pissed, it doesn't change its course of direction or anything like that. So you can do as much damage as you want. It's not going anywhere, it's not going to come after you, and it's not going to do anything either. So I don't know if there is like an Easter egg to this that I just haven't tried in any of these experiments. I mean, I used every weapon under the sun that I could think of, but I wasn't able to get anything with this UFO. So those are really all the experiments I thought of, but I'm sure you guys might have some more. I really didn't know what else to possibly do here. It's kind of fun. Maybe you can use this opportunity on your friends or crew members that don't know, play a prank on them, or just check it out. But we'll definitely be following up what happens over the next couple of days as this event begins. But anyways, that right there is all the experiments that we did with the UFO event in GTA Online called Sightseer that's going to be here over the next couple of days. If you guys have any more, if you guys have any more experiments we should do with the UFO, this is really fun. It kind of brought me back to some of the Red Dead Redemption 2 experiment videos that I've been doing. Let me know in those comments down below, and I might end up doing a follow-up video. But I'd love to hear from you guys down there as well. What has your experience with this been like? Let me know down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.